Yep, we're back at the Oxford dump. And this time we got our Erebus heavy duty off-road magnet hooked to a case backhoe. So this is our most heavy duty unit in terms of hanging magnetic sweepers, and that's just because of the outriggers on the front and its aluminum sleeve. So that aluminum sleeve prevents any chance of breaking your like our old PVC sleeves would crack if you hit them off anything. So this one works to prevent that, and also it doesn't crush when you get a bunch of material on it like the PVC one normally would, or used to anyways. So what that allows for is easier clean off and a more durable magnet, because you don't have to really be concerned about breaking your sleeve all the time. So in this landfill is where they dump all of this construction stuff. You see the big load of pallets and shingles behind me, well, beside us here. And the Erebus is just getting used for sweeping up any nails. So these guys actually have one of our magnets already that they do the exact same thing on. They have our RAS series, but this is just a bit of an upgraded unit. We have videos of it on the grader already. So we're just coming here to get some more videos on different machinery, just to show what you can use it for. These hanging magnets are just about the cheapest and most versatile options we have. So you see it going there. He's got it set at about a little too high right now, but once we get into changing terrain, it'll be a lot better. So there you can see it coming up. But yeah, these are really easy. We had the same, we had the Nix magnet hooked onto a tractor in a similar fashion, just right on the front forks. This one doesn't have forks. It obviously has a loader attachment, but the bucket was off, so we just tipped it down and it made almost a perfect hanging bracket setup. So here he comes. We just did one pass around the dumping facility there, and I think we'll do a clean off video to show how the aluminum sleeve cleans off compared to our plastic ones. But yeah, these hanging magnets are really easy to set up. These ones with the outriggers, like the Aether and the Erebus, are a bit more difficult just because they have the outriggers that need to be supported. But yeah, you need to support the front and the back of these outriggers. So we found if we just tipped that loader attachment point there down, it makes like a perfect hanging bracket. So we do sell hanging brackets that support this properly, but we didn't have anything that goes to this specific loader, so we just kind of rigged it up with some chains. This thing comes with 6 chains and 12 quick links when you order it, unless you get the one bracket with it, and then it comes with 4 and some other ropes. But yeah, these hanging magnets are just about the cheapest and most versatile option you can get for magnetic sweeping. And with some more work and fabrication, we could hang this in the middle. We tried hanging it between the wheels, which makes it a lot easier to control, and you can set your sweeping height more. But we found that there were no really good mounting options, so we just went with this. But with some work, if you drilled a couple holes and made some adapters, that sort of thing, you could get it done pretty easily. Just using chains and whatever, and then make it like a semi-permanent attachment. Look at that. Looks like the outriggers actually did something here. These are 4x4 wheels attached to big steel outriggers. And all these are for is if you got on like really humped kind of terrain, you're not dragging your magnet housing all the time. You would be running on these, which are going to last a lot longer than just running like aluminum on, say, gravel, because, you know, it's a wheel, it's going to spin instead of drag. But this new aluminum sleeve is a lot more durable than our old PVC options. So that gives you a lot more peace of mind when you're out here running into stuff. Like, you know, it's harder to control the sweeping height when you have it mounted like this because it's so far out in front of your wheels. So whatever the wheels are doing hitting a bump, this gets translated to a lot more motion on the magnet. So that aluminum sleeve is almost necessary just to prevent from breaking sleeves all the time, and it protects your main magnet housing. The Erebus magnetic sweeper now on a loader at the dump. So we just did a pass through the construction area over there. You see Trash Mountain. So we went through Trash Mountain and we picked up a couple treasures. So to clean this thing off, I don't know if I've done a video on this one before. I think I might have done a few on the Nix, but it's the same process. You got clips on either side, so those slide out. One here and one there. I guess I'll leave that one on that side. And then you want to pull from the side with the stainless steel pull handle. You can swap it between sides if you want. We just have this one on this side, so that's what we're gonna do. And then all you gotta do to pull the sleeve off is remove the wheel. So pull this pin out, and there's a bushing, and then the wheel comes out. So this wheel has, the ball bearings have been replaced with a 5/8 UHMW bushing, so that's gonna take hits a lot better, and then it rolls smooth for a nice long service life. You don't have to worry about lubricating your bearings or getting dirt in bearings or anything like that. It's just a nice hard plastic. So once those are removed, this stainless steel handle just comes out. It's kind of retained by this bushing on the wheel bolt. And then you got a nice stainless steel pull handle that seems to be stuck. There you go. So you got a nice stainless steel pull handle that allows you to pull the sleeve off without bending over the whole time. So the inside of the sleeve has these PVC rails on it, and that prevents aluminum from aluminum friction. And we found it's easiest to just leave the sleeve on a little bit at the end. So then your debris you've collected is not on the magnet housing, so it's easier to remove. So from there, you just pull it off, try not to stab yourself. Wow, looks like we got some good stuff here. That looks like the part missing from our gator. So once all of your debris is removed off the bottom of the magnet, or I guess the bottom of the sleeve, at that point, you just push it back on and you're ready to go again. So I got everything off the bottom there, or as best as I can see. And this stainless steel handle goes back in, and then you just pick it up and it slides on nice and easy because of the PVC rails. So once that's on there, you just make sure your handle is retained by this little spacer. And then just like taking it off, it's a reverse order. So you got wheel, spacer, try to find the hole. So there's a hole on the spacer that indexes with a hole on the wheel bolt or axle. And what that does is just keeps everything in place because the cotter pin's got to go through somewhere. Or I guess the linch pin it is. And then put your latch back in on either side. These got to line up. That just sits on that. And then same on this side. And you're good to go. And there's how to clean off the Erebus when it's on the front of a backhoe. So we're back here at Trash Mountain on the other side after doing a clean off video, and we're just going to run around, make a couple more passes and just clean this area up because we're here and we took their magnet off the front of this thing, so we might as well clean it with ours. So we didn't make an installation video because it's not going to be the same for any other sweeper or any other backhoe, but basically we just rigged this thing up with chains. We had I believe 6 chains, 2 long ones, 4 short ones, and that was pretty easy to just chain it up on the front of that loader, which could be done on pretty much any loader. Now, like I said before, as long as it's on the front, you see it moves up and down a lot more. That's just because of the distance between the wheels and the sweeper itself. So yeah, that thing's going to move around a lot more, which is why we're using the heavy-duty Erebus, because it's got that aluminum sleeve and the outriggers and the bump wheels, so you can hit it off the ground a couple times and it's not really going to hurt anything. On our other video, or on this page, there's also a durability testing video in which we ran it over with a 7,000 pound tractor. Well, this sleeve on a different magnet, but the same idea. And we did the clean off after that, and it was absolutely no problem. The sleeve didn't crush or deform or anything, and we just kept using it. We used it after that since then. So these sleeves are really heavy duty, and they can actually be used on pretty much any of our 4.5 by 4.5 magnets available on the website, as long as they're between the widths of 62 and 98 inches wide. So again, that's the 4.5 by 4.5 magnets, as long as they're between 62 and 98 inches wide. Yeah, this is a good unit. It's a little more difficult to chain up than the Nix, which has to be taken into consideration because you have to support those outriggers, but you do get a little bit of extra protection. Like those outriggers have hit the ground a couple times. You can see the mud on them already. So that means they're working, they're doing their job, as well as the bump wheels on the outside that touch down when you are going over different terrains. You see you run it through the mud there. So this has our wraparound function, so even if he is hitting the ground with the aluminum sleeve, you'd think that it might wipe off any of the debris we've collected, but because the magnet housing touches all sides of that aluminum sleeve, anything that hits the ground just gets caught on the back, which you might be able to see right there if you're looking closely. There's a couple nails on the back of the magnet, and often you'll see, especially if you're sweeping in grass, that's where most of the nails and debris gets collected, ends up being on the back. So yeah, this is the Erebus magnetic sweeper, very versatile unit. As long as you're a little clever with some chains and maybe some ratchet straps, you can put it on pretty much anything. And it's a really heavy duty, versatile thing. We had it on graders, we've had it on this thing, we put similar products on tractors. And yeah, it works good for just cleaning up. And this 4.5 by 4.5 magnet can pick up a nail from 8.25 inches. So even at the sweeping height we're at, like, you know, he's varying from anywhere between 2 or 3 inches and 6 inches here. We're still picking up all kinds of debris.